proudest day, and the proudest time in the seat of a rally car, because that day and that hour and those minutes, I got the bit between my teeth. You know, I really stood up and was counted and said, this is not getting away. I remember when we pulled on our helmets and Donald says to me, what are we doing? I said, we're going for gold, Barrett. That's all was said. I can still picture that run. That was just the best run ever.
Welcome along to Krunching Gears, the Rally Podcast, Season 3, Episode 21. We're going to talk rallying once again. We have a busy week. We speak to some of the guys and girls from the ERC there at the weekend, Rally Hungary. We speak to John Owen, who had a fantastic 8th overall. And Connor, you also caught up with Aoife and Jack there as well too, had a great run in the junior category as well. And then from BRC Rally Nuts, I caught up with Osian and Rhodri, the one in crew. And then the Irish Forestry as well then. Derek Mackerel won the rally, and Ryan MacHugh had a fantastic run in the Rally 4 Fiesta. I speak to them. And then also as well, Shane McGirr and Denver Rafferty and the Lada. You know, we'll not go down that rabbit hole. It could take far too long. But Connor, I suppose before we kick off, please like, share, rate, subscribe, make a huge difference. Thank you very much. But before we start, like, news is breaking as we're recording this. No WRC in 2025. Disappointing.
Heartbroken.
Heartbroken, disappointed. But it's not a no.
No,
that's away from it. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Look, if we want to look at the glass as half full here, it's not a no. It's not just yet. Mm-hmm. So you know, it's not gone. It's not out of the water. We've still a bit of hope left that we can cling on to. But yeah, I have to say, you know, the rally community this evening, bitter blow.
Yeah, bitter blow. And you know, I see a lot of people getting very upset and one thing or another on social media. Like, it's not a no. Like, this is not finished yet. You know, like, there's still hope, and you know, where there's light, there's hope, I suppose. Really,
there is. And look, come here. If I was to really, you know, scrape another positive out of it, there's still a lot of discussion around the rules, the regulations for next year. There's not going to be a new team next year. So if we're looking at maybe it's 26 or 27 before we have the event, hopefully we could have new cars, we could have new teams, or a new team at least, you know, at the Rally 1 level. So, you know, I think that offers something else as well to look forward to as well when we do get it.
Yeah, and like, we still have some fantastic rallying here at home as well too. So, you know, lots of positives out there, you know. So yeah, we'll keep the sunny side up for now.
Absolutely, it's all we can do.
Yeah, and talking about keeping the sunny side up, like Rally Hungary at the weekend, the MI Rally Academy out in force. We had John Owen out in the Rally 2 car, and then Jack and Aoife out in the Rally 4 Peugeots and the Junior European Rally Championship. And like, what a great show they put on for us all there at the weekend.
Oh, look, it was fantastic to watch it on social media and Rally TV. And yeah, lots of drama, lots of excitement. Tough event, very tough event, actually. And certainly, you know, you couldn't have picked the winner at the start of it. You know, good competition there. You Hayden, you MacHugh. To name some of them, I've forgotten a few of the others. But and then just drama the whole way through.
That's for sure, And like, you know, our crew's done us proud, so I think we'll catch up with you. First of all, we'll hear from John and Owen, and then that'll roll into Aoife and Jack.
John, Owen, fantastic run in Rally Hungary. You have to be delighted with that result, surely.
Yeah, really, really happy with how the event went. It's good to get the first round finished with no big issues, and a lot of new things to deal with for both me and Owen and the team, but to get a top 10 is really fantastic. And I know Owen enjoyed it too, but I'll let him chip in.
Yeah, Owen, you know, a lot to learn there. New car, new partnership, yourself and John. That's a, you know, baptism of fire for you.
Yeah, great. Great weekend over there. It was definitely a baptism of fire and something totally new to me, so it was great. And fair play to John, he drove a brilliant rally and made it very easy for me as well coming into the team. And I suppose he's quite familiar with the team, and that made it all the better as well, getting to know all the mechanics and the engineers. So yeah, great weekend all around.
And John, what was the plan with M-Sport going into the event? Like, you were in around the top 10 for most of the event, and as most people should be aware, you finished eighth overall. So, I'm sure that had to have been within, the parameters of what was set for you target wise.
Yeah, I think I'm we're quite lucky that we're not expected to go out and win out of the blocks. The main goal is to show the car off, to show that the whole package is capable of being in the mix, and to show the car has the pace. And pre-event, I think top 10 was sort of the goal between my own goal, M-Sport's goal, and then also I'd set myself another goal of being under 1 second per kilometer to the overall event winner as well, compared to Sweden last year, which was slightly over 1 second. I can't remember exactly what it was, but we achieved what we wanted from the event, which is always good. It's important to set yourself small targets that you can aim towards, that are realistic, and obviously as the season goes on we'll try to build upon what we've done now in the first round. But yeah, overall really happy to get a top 10, and it was a very demanding event. I think you've seen with the footage, it was quite varied. The stage conditions, it was a bit like Kenya in some places, and the next stage is like really twisty and flowing and smooth in the forest, and you had to be on your toes and ready for everything that it threw at you. But actually a really enjoyable event. When you get there with the Rally 2 car, you can still take everything at a reasonably fast pace. You don't have to worry too much. So yeah, it was really enjoyable.
And Owen, on the shakedown, putting in some good times, and obviously the shakedown is very important in the ERC because you're also competing for your road position. So, how much pressure is there to try and do your best to get a good slot?
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of pressure in the shakedown and going into the qualifying stage as well after knowing your shakedown times and trying to figure out where you're going to place, because obviously reverse order for the top 15 means that if you're anywhere in 14th or 15th, you're going to be opening the road. So it's quite a tricky, and it's different than anything I'd have done before. So it was interesting to measure your pace in the shakedown and know that you had to figure out where you lid before the qualifying started.
And as John mentioned there, you're working with a new team, new car. Part of the role is showcasing the car as well. And, you've got to keep your nose clean on a tough event. Like, how much pressure does that bring on the partnership, especially, a new partnership as that, where you're both learning each other's style?
Yeah, like there is a fair, I suppose, especially John would have worked with the M-Sport team, and he was good to me then, bringing me in, getting to meet everyone, and it was great to get to know them. And there is a bit of pressure, yeah. It's obviously a big step up, but no, it was great to keep our noses clean, because as we saw, there was a lot of drama in the rally, so it was nice to stay clean and pull a good result for sure.
And John, Owen mentioned it there. There was a lot of drama, and we saw, Heike had an issue, lost the wheel. We saw problems for Hayden. You kept your noses clean. Like, how did you manage that?
Yeah, it's not so easy. I think we had a very good test actually, because it was so rough when we got there and tried to rack it or just rack it in a normal like Jeep type road car, and there was scraping underneath of it, and we could barely get it through the stage. And then in the rally car, obviously it soaks everything up a bit better, but that was actually really good to have a test road like that, to see what you could get away with in terms of the punishment the car can take over the course of a day over very rough terrain. It sort of calibrated us to know what we could do then on the rally, and also going into the recce. But on the recce, we, me and Owen worked really hard just to mark all the surface changes, where there was any rough sections, where there's bedrock, and you're just trying to do your best to paint a picture of what you're going to face. And another thing that we picked up from the MI Rally Academy, I went to the last training day, and it's something that I actually don't do, but I started doing now after that, was to have a stage description before the start of the stage. So that was really useful, just to paint a picture again of like what were the pitfalls of the upcoming stage, where were the good sections, and yeah, that really helped as well. So of course you can always push more and try to risk and get away with things. I think, you know, we were still slightly on the more conservative side of things, the way we approached the rally, when it was relatively smooth and there was no risk of damaging the car. We were having a good push, and our times were really close to people around us in the starting order, which was fantastic. And then some of the more rougher places, you know, you're maybe not taking the same risks. So it was definitely a bit like a mini safari rally. And even compared to, I done the Acropolis rally in the Junior WRC in 2022, I would say that was smoother than this rally. You know, it just had a bit more to watch out for. So yeah, thankfully we stayed out of trouble. You know, part of that was working with the team, M-Sport and my engineer, to, you know, make sure we always had a setup that would give us protection in terms of not too soft, and you know, you have the right ride height and tire choice as well, to make sure that you've got the right tires, because you could go with a reinforced tire, which is obviously stronger, or you could go with the non-reinforced, which is a bit more performance, but then you're going to risk getting punctures. So we done the whole rally with reinforced. So yeah, just trying to be smart and pick your way through it.
And it's probably a bit of a silly question, but is there a difference in the way you do your pace notes from, you know, the Rally 3 car to the Rally 2 car? You know, you say you know, you can fit to attack the stage a wee bit more in the Rally 2 car. Do you have to tailor your notes to that as well?
My notes, I think a lot of people nowadays, they're all on the angles of the corner, so it doesn't change too much, but it's more the detail in between. You know, I think with this car, I've got a bit more detail again to let me know the lines, and yeah, and I think that's something that Owen dealt with really well. He's really good at calling pace notes, getting the timing right with the information and everything. It's been a really impressive rally from my side to work with Owen, and you know, he's been thrown in at the deep end, and you know, you either sink or you swim. I think he's got his 10,000 meter badge now after the weekend, so yeah, done very well, and you know, I think if we keep working hard, we can build upon it. But I was really happy with how the weekend went, so yeah, we'll yeah, keep working and see, can we build upon what we've achieved in the first rally.
Owen, John mentioned there how rough the event was, you know, and compared it to Greece, where Greece seemed, you know, John was in it smoother. You know, your recent trip you had to the classic safari rally, did that pay off at all? Was there anything you got from that maybe helped you on this event?
Yeah, I think I was well prepared for the roughness being shook around the car. The Rally 2 car is traveling at a much higher speed. That's negated then by the Porsche on the bumps was quite rough at the lower speed. So yeah, they're quite similar rallies, as John said. Like, the nature of the stages was so varied. But yeah, it was definitely rough, and it was very interesting, especially to write notes on and see how much there was to catch you out with, between the banks hidden in the grass and the different bedrock and everything. And it was all important to take note of in the recce and just see how John was writing his notes to adapt to that, because I suppose we've seen how he writes them on tarmac and normal gravel, and just seeing the difference in the details that were added for the different terrain was very interesting as well.
And did you feel like it was a natural thing for you, like it was maybe a natural progression from where your notes were, the guys you'd worked previously with? Was this the next level almost?
Yeah, like I suppose I'd have done some small stuff with Josh, like a couple of tests and stuff, so it was very good to have that behind me as well. That was a great preparation. Those tests were organised by the academy last year, and that gave me a bit of confidence going into the event that I'd been at a high pace, be it only in a test environment, I suppose, for one day, but just to know going into the event that I had a small bit of experience to lean on. And then as an event, for the event as a whole, I had the experience of doing Mexico and Finland with John, which was obviously, again, a huge benefit because they're very similar events. So, yeah.
And John, for yourself, like you're only getting to grips with the Fiesta, the Rally 2 Fiesta. With the changes in the terrain and the stage, the nature of the stages, was it hard to get it to a setting that you were happy with?
I think the pre-event test was very good because it was rough. It gave us a good base to work with. And I was, really happy with how I'm able to drive the car, especially in, on uneven terrain with ruts, and how it pushes out of the slower corners without sort of hopping in and out of the ruts, which I've experienced in the past with four-wheel drive cars and probably struggled with a bit. So I feel like I'm driving really well with the car, and obviously there's still more time to get out of it. But because the stages were so varied, you were changing the settings between some of the stages, maybe on the damper clicks. If it was a smoother, faster stage, you could be slightly different than a more bumpy one. And one of the other things is like changing the ride height between some stages as well, just so you have more clearance. So those are the sort of things that me and Owen had to get to grips with as well, because it's essentially a new car for both of us to do that type of work between stages. And it's really good just to build a relationship together too, because you don't have a lot of time to do those, and you have to work efficiently, and it shows off your character, because if you're getting into a bit of a hank or you can't get something done quickly, you're relying on each other to keep each other calm and just to push through and have clear communication. So all of that was really good at the weekend as well. So it's a really positive start, and for the car, I'm really happy with it. It's very easy to drive, and the performance is really good in terms of what we see in national championships and the flashes of speed that we had at the weekend compared to people around us in the starting order when everything hooked up and on the stage. It was really nice to see, and I know there's more to come from our side as well for performance. So and now next rally is going to be on tarmac, so that's like a chance for us to get a benchmark for where we are on that surface. And the championship has 5 tarmac rallies, so it's going to be really important to get a good feeling and see where we're at. And I think naturally coming from Ireland, tarmac's where your heart's at, and it's probably easier for me to turn it on that surface. So let's see where we can be when we get there. And Canaries is going to be hotly contested as well. You're going to have local drivers going there. I think Alexei Lukanuk's coming back with a Hyundai. So it's going to be really good, and I think it's important to benchmark yourself against really fast drivers because that raises your level. You know, when you come to the end of a stage and you've been on the door handles and you still drop 10 seconds, those are the moments where, you know, you have to really dig deep and analyze everything you can and, you know, just push through, and eventually you will get to that pace if you work hard enough.
Because you spoke earlier, you know, you wanted to get down to within a second a kilometre. Like you know, you got to the end, you know, you feel that you were getting where you wanted to be. That next second, to find that next second, you know where it's at. There's that, maybe that's the way I'm putting it. You know that you were driving within yourself at the weekend. That second's not scratch your head. How am I ever going to get there? It's achievable.
Yeah, it's achievable. I think every rally is slightly different, but the knowledge that you build up with the car, you can take anywhere, and it's just getting more acquainted with that style of car, Rally 2 car. The style is a bit different. I think I have on gravel time to find in like the medium to slow corners with my approach to them and just the speed that I carry through them. And that just comes with time and experience and knowing what the car is going to do and what you can get away with. So for sure, if you add all those up across the stage, it can get you a lot closer. And it can be very easy to let your head drop whenever you're not close. But I know that you can get there with hard work, and yeah, like I said, we're getting closer already. And across the rally, you could see that our times were improving. With the people around us, like Hayden Padden wasn't that far starting ahead or behind us. Sorry, and like just a couple of stages that we weren't, only a handful of seconds away from him, and he's WRC driver and the champion. So yeah, we just have to keep pushing, and yeah, I know we'll get there.
I know, and you didn't slack off on the Sunday. You pushed to the end. You were trying to chase down 7th overall. You set 5th fastest time in the power stage. Like, you really were going for it.
Yeah, and that's the great thing, was that we were able to show that across the weekend, that we did keep going until the end. And to be like, I suppose all them boys have a lot of experience, and it was great to see that we were up there and like it didn't feel anything. John was really cool, calm, and collected behind the wheel. Everything felt really clean, and it was a really positive event that way.
And next up is Canaries, a new event for yourself. Have you started looking at the onboard yet?
Yeah, Rally TV's going to be burnt out over the next few days now. The organisers' videos are watched at a slow speed, so it's time to digest them at high speed. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Definitely going to be another tough event. I suppose we experienced the heat in Hungary, and it's going to be the same, if not more, in the Canaries. So yeah, just time to put the head down and prepare now.
And you're busy before that. You're off to the States again?
Yeah, actually the week after. So heading there, 2 weeks after the Canaries. So yeah, it'll be another short turnaround. Not getting much time at home these days, but it's all a great experience. So yeah, it's a huge thanks to the Academy for keeping me going with all this. It's great to have the support that when you're only at home for a few days, they can turn you around and help you get going again.
And then finally, John, I suppose we'll wrap up with yourself then. You have pursued this dream, to sit there in the start line of Hungary, look round, look at your badge and your overalls, look at the car, the badge and the steering wheel. You're an M-Sport driver. Like, dream come true?
Yeah, it definitely is. I think the coolest moment was you get all the team wear to put that on for the first time and go get your photos taken. It definitely is a special feeling. And something that I've worked towards for a long time. So yeah, dream come true, but you have to take it with both hands, and yeah, really make the most of it now. So I need to keep working hard and yeah, see how much closer now we'll get to the front runners. But for sure, really enjoyed working with M-Sport and Owen and everyone at the weekend. Definitely a brilliant atmosphere and really enjoyable to compete at that level with a team with that level of experience, and everyone's so professional, and every box is ticked, and you know that you've got everything you need to really attack the event, and you just feel so comfortable. So yeah, I think that's the most enjoyable part, actually, is just the actual experience of working with a team of that level. And yeah, you can learn a lot too just by that. So yeah, we're only just one event in, so we got 7 to go now, and it's going to be a really fun year.
So Aoife, Jack, just back from Hungary, and like genuinely a fantastic results, both of you. Fair play and well done. Aoife, how did you find it?
Hey Connor, yeah, no, it was a really good week for us. Glad that we could come home with fourth, which is a good result. Really difficult weekend and a lot of challenges over the days, but it was a really enjoyable rally, and the stages were probably one of the roughest rallies I've done, and very hard on the car. But no, it was a good weekend for Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy, and I think myself, Jack, and John, and Owen, we all had a good event.
And Jack, we mentioned before, very limited experience out competing outside of Ireland. So, it must have been a bit of a big adventure for you going to Hungary. And I suppose the novelty it had as well was the super special starting side by side. I would say that's something you've never done before.
Yeah, it was a big experience, definitely heading out to Hungary. So we tried to prepare as best we can, I suppose, with the help from the academy and all the people who were on hand, like I said, Josh and John Armstrong and John Kine and Sean and Philip Case. They all kind of did make it a lot easier for me with them having the experience of being out there. It really did help me. So yeah, the super special thing was really cool to do as well, with the starting side by side. It definitely made for a good photo. But no, look, it was a really really tough event. It was one of the toughest I've ever done. But no, look, we were under pressure at times with the heat and stuff like that, and trying to cope with different conditions. And I suppose, like Aoife was saying, the rough characteristics of the stages. But no, it was definitely one of the most enjoyable rallies I've ever done.
And Aoife, the event looked, pretty tough going, very narrow stages and quite rough in places, as you mentioned. And you had a few dramas yourself with regard to puncture and power steering loss, etc.
Yeah, look, I suppose each stage was nearly so different from the next one. It was incredible, the changes from stage to stage, something that you had to adapt to as well very quickly. Yeah, the stages were incredibly rough. So we did have a few punches over the weekend, and on Sunday then, yeah, coming into the last stage before service, let's say, we came over a jump and we did some damage, and we got a puncture and just damaged the power steering. And in fairness, we limped back into service, but the lads there in PCRS, they all did a fantastic job to actually get us out back in time without any penalties. It was a huge job on that. They got done very well. So massive thanks to them. But we went out for the last final loop of stages, and we were happy enough we were in third at the time. But unfortunately, on the last stage, we had a severed brake pipe from earlier, from the really rough conditions, and unfortunately, we had no brakes on the last stage, so we dropped to fourth. But I think it was still a good result overall.
And Jack, for yourself, relatively clean run in that. A little bit of drama on TV with the boot opening and stuff for yourself, but were you even aware that had happened?
Yeah, I was only, I'd say, towards the last maybe couple of corners of the stage, but that was an issue that was resolved when we got back to service. No, it was a really tough event, but throughout the whole weekend, from the start, it was just to finish the rally, build the mileage, build the confidence, and that's exactly what we stuck to for the entirety of the weekend. we had a lot of new challenges, like the stages being differently and long stages, long days, early morning, stuff like that. So no, look, we definitely just took it as we have to finish the rally. We're going to build our confidence, build our pace, and just keep progressing as we went on. And I suppose that's how the whole weekend planned out. And to come fifth then in the end was definitely one of the best results I could have ever wished for. It was definitely an overachievement type of thing that I was thinking of. Because if you had told me on Friday evening that we would have been within the top 10 come Sunday evening, I probably would have laughed. So it was a really, really great event, and I'm delighted with the result.
And even with regard to yourself, okay, your second year back in the ERC, but I would say you must be fairly pleased with coming home fourth overall in the Junior ERC.
Yeah, look, it was no, it's a great result, and like as Jack was saying, it probably was one of the toughest events I have done, even with all the European events last year. It was a big challenge, but I think the experience gained from that was huge that like we could take forward as well. So no, it was a really good event all around, but the experience and the results, I think it made it a great weekend for the academy.
And you had a bit of heat to deal with as well Sunday, a bit of a spike in the temperatures.
Yeah, I definitely felt the heat anyways. It was no, I was really hot in the car, but it was something again that the academy helps you to kind of prepare for and be fit for. So once you're on the stage you don't even notice it. It's just once you stop then you can feel it.
And Jack, for yourself, any surprises or anything you learned, tackling such an event?
Yeah, we definitely learned a lot. It was a lot to take on board at the start, but just with the help of everybody, with Josh on hand to give us all his advice, and I suppose with obviously help from Aoife as well, because after coming in after one loop, we could compare two exactly the same cars. We could compare onboards, we could compare notes, different setup changes. So it was great help from Aoife as well. Aoife having been out there last year was definitely a big help to me. She's just telling me things to watch out for and don't do this and do that. And just small things that really, really do help, I suppose, from people who've done it before, who've, let's say, made a mistake. They can help you then not to probably make the same mistake sometimes. But no, it was great to have everyone on hand for help with setup, and I suppose the similarities between myself and Aoife with the car and stuff really did help me out the course of the weekend.
And Aoife, for yourself, they're obviously passing on the advice to Jack, but we saw John Armstrong had a fantastic run as well, inside top 10 and finishing 8th overall. Were you able to, get some advice from John during the event?
Yeah, like his experience and his knowledge is massive. So even like I suppose especially with John before the event, because it's hard to be annoying him on event as well, but even his advice and what he had, his information and from his experience, it was really good to be able to listen to him and have his help as well, especially like when me and Jack would do recce, and he's obviously then doing the same recce as us, and if we have any questions, he was very helpful in answering that if we had any doubts on anything. But having the likes of John there who's doing the event and having Josh there then to help from testing with notes and onboards, it makes a massive difference, and it really does help and make the whole process a lot easier.
So thanks very much to all those guys there and girls. Absolute pleasure as always, and just it does your heart good to see how well they represent Irish rally. Also last weekend we had round 2 of the BRC Rally Nuts, and once again the Rally Academy guys and girls done us proud over there as well, Connor.
Absolutely. The junior BRC class, they had a great run. Absolutely fantastic. Just incredible. Like, and a good number of them as well. With Kyle McBride, with Keelan Grogan, Cian Caldwell, we had Casey J. Coleman, and then Joe Kelly as well. Like, it really was a flotilla of Irish entries. For
sure. And they had all great runs. And we can't forget Wal Crichton, star of the show once again, like second overall. Like, his season keeps getting better and better.
And again, have to remember he's only doing the BRC to get seat time, really, so absolutely phenomenal run for himself and Liam, just incredible. And unfortunately, Keith and Mike just
not getting the rubber green at all, are they?
No, the BRCs is not going to plan. Like when you compare to their tarmac championship run, they really are just having all the bad luck on the BRC.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then as well in the historic championship as well then too. Gary McElhinney sitting with Seb Perez. They won the Historics, and Adrian Hillington to get a fantastic third overall there as well too, and won his class as well too. So, lots of really positives coming out. But I suppose the really positive thing that came out of it was overall winners was Osian, Pryce and Rhodri Evans. We could see in the online how much it meant to Osian. He was a bit disappointed after the first round, mechanical problems put him out of the rally. This has really reignited his championship, and to do it on some fantastic stages, he was just delighted. And I got a chance to catch up with them and get their thoughts on it. So joint now with the winners of Rally Nuts on Saturday, Osian, Pryce and Rhodri Evans. Osian, it's a couple of days after, but I would say it still sounds good to be described as the winner of Rally Nuts 2024.
Yeah, it was an event that we haven't won before, and yeah, any rally win we'll take that definitely, especially after the start we've had. Yeah, it hasn't been the best of starts, but we weren't too fussed with what happened on Northwest. It was literally one of those things, as rallying can be. It's not always great and rosy. Little stupid things let us down every now and again, and unfortunately it happened to us. But yeah, managed to swing it around on the weekend there, and bag a win, which is very, very pleased about, to be honest.
Yeah, because and Rally Nuts, there was such hype and such anticipation before the event. The BRC has really turned a corner this year. The ceremonial start in the first two events, it's like we've seen in the RAC rally, which you were part of there last year as well too. It's great to see the BRC back with a bang this year. Yeah,
there's been a lot of work behind the scenes. I know I briefly met, I think, the sponsors of the championship, I think, last year. And it's good that the championship has a title sponsor, which it needs. It's fantastic that ProBite have come on board, and as well with the addition of the TV package and the media package, it kind of, well, if I'm honest, it sort of sealed the deal for me to come back. I'd initially planned to have a sort of a mixed program of just picking and choosing, but when that fell through, we thought we'd try and get something together for the start of the BRC, which we did, and I'm glad to be a part of it. And the lineup this year has probably been one of the highest for a number of years now. So yeah, it's good to be a part of it, and fair play for them to put in the work in. It's you can listen to a lot of the stuff on social media and it could bog you down, but they've took everybody's comments on board. They've tried to deliver, and it's work in progress, and it's a pleasure to see.
Yeah, Rhodri, work in progress. But the progress, even from last year, has been phenomenal. The way that they have ramped this up, the ITV coverage, the general atmosphere around the events and all, it just seems to be a better place for everybody.
Yeah, it's great to be a part of. It's the first time, of course, for me to come and join the party. And just the ceremonial starts and stuff this year. Garstang for the round one. The amount of people out there, I did not expect to drive into town and think, "Whoa, where did all these people come from?" It was really cool to see. And then down at Sandrindod as well on the weekend, it was great to see so many people out, and of course seeing local people out as well this weekend. That gave us a bit of a spur on as well. It was great.
Yeah, and the event there at the weekend was obviously a wee bit closer to home, but not exactly on your doorstep, really, are they, those stages?
No, they're the Havren's not too far away from myself. Not as close as the W is to Osian, but I still class W would be my local stage. But our stage 4 going through Havren, that was got to be up there, one of the best I've ever done. Even though there's a few stages in Corsica I did last year which were pretty good, but going through Havren, full chat, that's pretty special there.
Yeah, because those are the stages that whenever the WRC was in Wales, that was the stages that all the drivers talked about. That was the ones they really loved, the ones they wanted. They got the buzz from. Now you've experienced it, you can relate to what they were saying.
100%, and going through there in a very competitive car, with of course a very fast driver as well. It really summed it up to go, yeah, this is why these guys say these are the best driving roads. Especially that shape of loss Rally GB at the moment, and you can see why they all loved coming here for it, because say going through Havre and going across Maherin at full chat, that was it was pretty cool.
And Ocean, these, latest cars now, like, the last R5s into the Rally 2 now, like, I heard Chris Meek saying in New Zealand there at the weekend that these latest spec cars are probably as quick now as, like, the last sort of like 2016 spec world car. Like, it must give you such a buzz to, get, a great stage in one of those cars.
Yeah, when somebody like that sums it up, they've driven pretty much every car in the last, Chris has obviously come from nowhere and worked his way up. So he's driven all the world cars, on and off in the last few years. But to sum that up, really, when you think about it, years ago we used to have the likes of the Imprezas and the O2 Focuses and that era. These cars are way faster now. They're far more sophisticated than what they were, and those guys back then, they were paid to drive, and here we are. You've got a builder in charge of one, and being able to get the most out of it, and the great thing is I'm able to jump in and out of the car, but the performance level of these cars, it's always ramping up. That's competition, which is it's good to see that cars evolve, technology evolves, and obviously it's able to translate into the stage times. But yeah, it's special really that you can drive. I can drive my work van on the Wednesday and then jump into the car on Thursday, and as if it's a smooth transition, and the performance of them, you've only got to watch the clips from the weekend. It's phenomenal what they can do on slippy gravel, and yeah, you do kind of forget really when you watch the Fiesta go, you do kind of forget it's actually a Rally 2 car. So yeah, I actually drove I think it was 2012 World Car, Henning Solberg's Rally GB car actually won the Fiesta trophy that year, and that car just done Rally GB, but this car is way quicker than that, and it's a lot more deceiving, and I think that's what's tricky. You haven't got maybe the dancing around and maybe so much noise, but the cars are so deceiving now, and they're so efficient as well, and I think that's why you get the performance out of them.
Yeah, it's the way they seem to be able to change direction. Like, they're coming into corners and you think they're never going to make it round. The braking, the way they turn in. Rhodri, do you feel that even like in the passenger seat that this is something pretty special?
Yeah, coming from sitting in escorts and sitting in a few well-spec'd escorts and then jumping into this. Done a few tests with Osian over the years in the R5. That was the only experience I've had of R5 cars. Never been in anger and competition in them. But the way they can just turn direction so quickly. It's the braking that gets me. You're calling out, you've got a square right coming up, and you're still on the power, and you're thinking, "You're going to brake yet?" Because I'm still in escort mode in my head, going, "We'd have braked miles back over there. We're still full chat towards the corner," and then it just pulls up, and then you turn for the corner and it's away again. It's just that's wicked, isn't it? Doesn't get much better, I don't think, at the moment.
And like, Ocean, you said about jumping out, your transit van on the Wednesday and jumping into it. How do you translate that into your brain? Like, you can brake, like at the last second almost.
I don't know. It's almost like an instinct thing, really. A lot of it is, I don't know. I've always thought about this, and I've been asked the question a lot. And I think as soon as you put that crash helmet on, you become a different beast, and you just sort of soak into your own little world. Osian, the builder and the van driver, is now to the one side, and he's now the rally driver. And yeah, it's not an easy transition to make when you're looking for those last 10th of a second per mile. But to get to 99.9% of the way there, I'm fortunate I'm able to do it quite quickly without much testing. We did half a day's testing before this rally, and that's all we had. I hadn't driven the car on gravel before, and we just in at the deep end and set the car up to the best we can and don't moan and get on with it.
And like those stages, like like they are world-class stages. They probably, it's not a disrespect to the the BRC or Rally Nuts. Those stages deserve to be on the world stage.
Oh yeah, they're classic stages at the end of the day. And like Rhodri said, they live up to the hype. I I don't think I had been in those stages in a Rally 2 and R5 for, I think it's 8 years. So yeah, I think it was 2016. I think I was last in there. And you think the cars have progressed since then as well. There's been a big evolution. And I was in a Mark 1 Fiesta then. And the only time that I've been in those forests since is in a Mark 2 Escort. So it's been a bit of a contrast, really. But in terms of the stages, they're just they're phenomenal. There's no other way to describe them. Just the terrain is a challenge. You've actually got two different kinds of stages down there. You had Meherin, which is very fast, very polished. You have a bit more room. Harren's a bit softer, a bit more technical, but probably a bit more rewarding as well. But equally, there's some dodgy places that can catch you out, and we almost fell foul to them in a few places. But I think it's just the momentum you carry. You look at the stage on the recce. Yes, it's fast, but you don't anticipate how much speed you can carry. There's a lot of long corners that tighten, and they just go around in at the last minute. But you can just carry so much speed into them, and yeah, somehow we make it out the other end.
Just pull the belts that wee bit tighter and pray.
Yeah, there was a few of them, unfortunately, at the weekend, but all because we didn't quite have the optimum setup. Which is quite encouraging, really, that we managed to win the rally with not quite having the car completely dialed. I think Havren was the only stage where the car was fairly happy. But on sort of the slightly slippier stages, and even in Havren as well, we just didn't quite have the car dialed. I mean, these moments we were having, they weren't because I was trying too hard. They were just because I was being caught out by things not quite being 100%. But it's all, at the end of the day, we did half a day's test, and he's straight into the competition. We didn't get a chance to do too much, but that's always the story with me. I tend to just dive in at the deep end, and somehow it works out.
But isn't that the either the beauty or the madness of rallying? It gets those, that car was probably maybe 97, 98%, but it's those, just that last wee percentage just can make the difference. Some days it'll work for you, and other days it works against you. That wee 2% unhappiness some days could just be enough to put you off the road or just make you feel uncomfortable, and you're just not able to commit fully. Yeah,
it's a very, very fine line. At the end of the day, the conditions were the same for everybody, but it's one of those. I don't think I heard anybody saying that they were happy with their car, to be honest. So it was pretty much same story all around. Doesn't matter if you were car 1 to 10 or car 100 to 150. Everybody was moaning about the conditions, and I think it's you have to sort of put the issues to one side and do the best you can with what you have. I think we did that quite well, to be honest. We had a great car. Don't get me wrong, the car was fantastic, but we're always chasing the envelope at this level and at any high level, to be honest. So we always sound as if we're not unhappy, but really,
yeah. Having driving a rally car, an ultimate rally car on those stages, leading a round of the BRC, it's a pretty good day.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, to me, I just look at it as a rally win, but somebody summed it up to me on Saturday night, and you think, for the likes of Rhodri now, for instance, I've won a couple of BRC rounds over the last however many years, and you think when you were a kid, and I'm only referencing this because it was Rhodri's first win, but when you were a kid, you would have thought, how awesome would it be to win a BRC round? And it doesn't matter how long it is, how challenging, who was there. We've managed to achieve that, and it's obviously good to give Rhodri his first win, and his first win on a British event out of all the rallies in the world.
Yeah, Rhodri, for you, growing up, you obviously were, watching rally, and you had your heroes, and you seen them won rounds of the BRC or whatever. To see your name up now on that list, that has to be very cool.
It's a bit mad, really, isn't it? I actually look back at EWRC before coming here to see when the actual first event was, and it was 12 years ago. It was the first time I went out, and I was out in a little Seat Ibiza, and we broke down in Havran on the first stage. and then I've just been very lucky with the locals. You could see that what I wanted to do. I never thought I'd ever get to BRC level. I was like, oh, it'd be amazing if I can get up there one day. But never thought I'd ever get to that point. And then to be sitting with Osh after, I knew one day eventually I'd get in the car with him. And here we are, got the opportunity. And I think we're doing all right. You know, it's been a long journey learning with a lot of locals who have given me a lot of experience over time, which has built and helped me build to where I am now, a bit of confidence now to jump in with the likes of Osh and say, yeah, come on, we can give this a good go now.
And like getting to do it and getting to that level, but doing it with a good friend as well too. Like, you know, yes, the opportunity would have probably come along and you could end up with, you know, somebody that you were acquainted with or somebody that needed a co-driver, but to do it with a good friend, that makes it even better.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because obviously I've watched Osh over the years do all the rallies. I'd be out in the woods watching him in the rain, the snow, and everything. And then now I'm sat in that car going, it's me doing this job now. This is pretty cool. And to be sat with my best mate doing it as well, it's pretty special. And then to get the win as well. I obviously know he's got the pace and what have you, and I thought we could get one, and we got one now in round 2. So you know, we're very unlucky on round 1. Could have gone either way at the end. So hopefully, yeah, we can build on this, get confidence, and moving forward to the next round.
And like Osian, like, you know, yes, you know, it's good to have friends around you and all that there. But if you didn't think he was up to the job, you wouldn't have had him in there. Like, you have full confidence in what he's telling you. You have faith that he's going to do it right.
Yeah, it was. I don't know who was mad really. Me giving him a novice a chance, or him agreeing to jump in the car with me. But no, I think it's sort of been coming for a long time. And you know, last year I didn't have the best of years. Last year I was all over the place doing, you know, bits and bobs. And although I enjoyed and learned a lot from it, but it was a little bit too much for somebody like myself. Trying to, you know, juggle a normal life and family business and everything, and you know, forever battling funding issues. But when I had Rhodri in the car for the RAC, you know, we set out just to have a bit of fun. And although I'm still ultimately very, very competitive and still able to be competitive, so when I asked him to jump in the big car, to be fair, he was keen, and I think he said yes. And then he thought, "Oh, what am I doing?" You know, I think he realized the scale of the task ahead of him. But no, to be fair, you know, it's second round in. It's not easy sitting in these cars, you know. I can't really describe what it is to be in one. You know, I'm quite lucky that I've done this, you know, been at this level for a number of years now. And to me, I'm quite relaxed. I take it all in. I've been there and done it. It's just a case of you know, trying to juggle everything that goes on around life now and enjoy myself. So to enjoy it with your mate, it's brilliant, and to win with your mate, it's good because, you know, we've done a lot together over the years and never really done anything serious, to be honest. We've always messed about with different things. So to sort of put it out there that, you know, this is what we're doing, and this is what we've actually achieved now. It's it's turned a few heads, I think.
Excellent. And then we're looking forward now to the next round, the Jim Clark, like another rally steeped in history, you know, fantastic stages, back onto tarmac. Like, you're quite comfortable on either surface, really.
Yeah, to be honest, to be fair, I would have said that I was more of a tarmac person, just because of the way my driving style is. I started the weekend driving a bit too much like I was on tarmac. Okay, you've got to be clinical on gravel, you've got to be efficient, but I just didn't have the attack in me in the morning, which I knew. You know, I was quite happy. You know, at the end of this first stage, lost a couple of seconds. I knew where that time had gone. It's better than being the other way of, you know, driving as fast as you can and not wondering where the time's gone. But you know, as I got a bit happy with the car, you know, mile by mile, as you say, you know, I got into it and started to attack a bit more. But you know, going back to tarmac, it's it's something. It's sort of a surface I think that suits my driving style. And as well, I think the Fiesta suits me quite a lot as well. Again, we spoke about jumping in from a van on a Wednesday and testing on a Thursday. I can do that relatively well. And just feel happy with it. I've really gelled with the car, to be honest. So yeah, really looking forward to doing another familiar rally. To be honest, I've probably done these stages more than I've done the stages at the weekend. I know there's a lot of people say it's my local rally. Yes, it is, but it isn't either. It's one of those. There's equally as familiar rallies on the calendar as the one at the weekend. So yeah, really looking forward to it. We just hope we can get a few last minute things sorted. But Rhodri's actually done the rally before as well, so he knows his way around there. So yeah, hopefully we should be in good prep. And team, Dommy Buckley, RSC, they're from the area as well. So hopefully we should be in good hands.
Also, the weekend then too, we had round 2 of the Irish Forestry and the Willie Loughman and Carrick-on-Suir. And the winner there was Derek Mackerel. And, Derek had a fantastic run. Finally got the one, We'd seen how good he was coming up over the last few years in the wee Nova, and then he made the move into the Rally 5, the R5 Fiesta. And just brilliant. I'm just over the moon for him. And then another great run was Ryan MacHugh in the Rally 4 Fiesta, third rally in gravel. Put in some brilliant times. He was the fastest two-wheel drive in one of the stages. So I'm going to speak to them, and then that will roll into then Shane McGirr and then for Raftery, and in the infamous Lada, but what a great bit of crack I had with them two guys as well. But anyway, first of all, we'll hear from Derek and Ryan. So we're looking back now at the Willie Loughman, and we're joined by Derek Mackerel and Ryan MacHugh. Derek, you finally got the one under your belt there yesterday. We've seen the talent come up through, over the years in the wee red Nova. To finally, bring it all together in the Fiesta, it must have been brilliant yesterday.
Yeah, it was class feeling now, to finally get it across the line, and be there as the winners. At the feeling, we pushed hard to be where we are, and to get that far, and there's a lot of people who's put it in to get there. So no, I was delighted to get the win and give everyone a bit of thing that we can do it. We can be able to be a winner in this sort of time of year. I'm happy out there for everyone.
Because this has been a big effort by a lot of different people. You're a very family-centered team. We've seen your dad's there every step of the way with you and all, and it must give them as nearly as much satisfaction as it's given you.
Yeah, it kind of is. They're there at the backbone all the time, so they are. And me and Dad, we do all the work trials, in the car and everything, right through from start to finish. So there's a lot of prep work and a lot of work goes on, and me and him get on fairly well. And only for that, I wouldn't be here where I am at the minute. That's the long and the short of it. Everything he kind of is pointing me in the right direction for speed. From when I was 12 year old when we started off in RSA, right up to now. So it's a big journey now.
That's for sure. And Ryan, for yourself, the last time we spoke to you after West Cork, you were saying that you're going back to the gravel. And I said to you, then if you get the hang of this night driving, you're going to be very good. If you get the hang of this old gravel rallying, you're going to be fairly decent as well. Now that's 3 gravel rallies, and the speed is really something else now at the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. We had a good weekend now. It was, I suppose, a slow enough start, maybe in stage 1, but after that now, it picked up rightly. But yeah, look, it just put in a lot of work before the rally, and yeah, look, it just clicked on the day, and Arthur was sitting on too, so that was a big help, But yeah, look, it was a good day for us.
Yeah, because there was one fastest two-wheel drive time there, and as well, and against some really strong opposition. The wee Fiesta must have been fairly motoring yesterday.
Aye, at times now it was now. Yeah, I was kind of really surprised with our pace, to be honest. Suppose it's been building up now since the start of the year, and just things is working out well for us. But yeah, look, happy with the way things is going so far, and yeah, can't thank everybody enough. The whole team around me, and those the academy and all for all their help too and advice. And yeah, look, it's all just clicking, and it's working well so far this year. So hopefully carry it into Clarny now and see where our pace is there again. The guys again on the tower.
And like Derek, you were that soldier a few years ago. Like how difficult it is, to get the pace up and get the speed. You can carry the speed in those wee front wheel drive cars. Like you must look at these guys now, like, and there's so many of them now. I'm saying there's maybe a part of you would love to be in the middle of all that as well.
Yeah, like when you see the speed them guys that like in them yokes, it's unbelievable. Like to see, like especially Ryan and that, like the runs they're having is class. Like and the battles they're having, like everyone's nailed one after the other. Like and I was always in a car that shouldn't have been where it was. Like I think Emma Cherry shared a repeat there the other day. Like the car in front's an Nova, and that was like I had William Creighton and all the boys behind me in the R2 cars, and I'd beaten them all like in Moonraker, and like that like I was at that sort of level, and Ryan and them boys they're all together and they're on a serious pace. Like it is unbelievable like what they can do in them cars.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And like Ryan, we spoke about it. In the tar, there's no margin for error. It's absolutely the same in gravel. Yes, there might be a wee bit more movement in the car, one thing or another. But like it's it's getting now there's seconds separating you on the gravel as well too. But like you need to be on it right from the get go. Like from stage 1 till yesterday it was stage 6. Like you can't afford to have an overshoot or a half spin or anything. It could be the difference between winning and losing the class.
Yeah, definitely. I suppose we were slow enough out of the blocks yesterday. Well, it felt really not that great, but the time wasn't that bad. It was just I think stage 1 was just a hard stage to get into. I don't know if Derek can say the same there, but yeah, it just clicked from stage 2 and 3 on. Kind of just worked well. And I suppose might have took a stage to get used to Arthur as well, just the way he works. And yeah, no, but we worked well together. Just clicked, and on the day it was fast.
And do you find yourself now, gearing, looking at the times and going, I'm so close to Shane McGirr, I could have a bit of push on, or do you just concentrate on where you're at in the class?
I think Arthur was more worried about Shane McGirr than me, but no, it was good. Hey, look, at the start of the year, we were looking at my times against Shane. I was so many seconds a kilometre off, so it's good to come into the third gravel rally and be fit to say we're beating him on a stage. Like it shows the progression, I suppose, and the pace is moving forward all the time. And yeah, look, delighted to be honest. And thanks to Dave too. Dave gave me a good shot yesterday. Dave Moynihan. So.
And like I'm a few years older than you guys, and for me to think that between a Lada and a Fiesta leading the 2-wheel drive, I just can't get my head around it. But it's nice to see that wee bit of variety as much as anything else too, because we've seen it for so long. It's been escort. To see it being mixed up a wee bit, Ryan's good as well.
Yeah, definitely. No, look, our main focus was trying to get the class. My target was to get top 3 in the class, but it just worked out that we're the quickest. Like so, yeah, definitely. I was delighted with it, and can't thank Neil and Dad and them boys enough either. Hey, same as Derek there. It's a family run effort as well, so you can't without them boys I wouldn't be here either.
For sure, that's true. And Derek, for yourself, like Jordan had problems in the first stage, but like you were on the pipe right from the first stage. You were going there. Was the intention to go for the one, or was it to get the first stage under you and see who you're at, or?
And look at the way I take it, you just go stage by stage, rally by rally, like, and we went into it. I got into it, and the whole thing just clicked from the start. Like I was in the same sort of mindset and same sort of feeling that I had in Final Town. And when you're in that sort of click, and we were in that sort of cut, the times we just felt really confident. And when I come to the end of it, I say to myself, that couldn't be a million mile away from the fastest time. Like, and it was interesting to see where Jordan was, because I was putting Jordan to be the quickest man. Like, and then Darren says to me, Jordan lost 25 seconds or something, and I went, oh, that couldn't be right. Maybe this was the wrong time, and he got a 30-second away, but no, it was right enough. And we seen him put it in the road section, then, and I says, got out and asked him what was wrong, and he had a diff problem, so he had a handbrake release problem, so he was we kind of got him sorted, and himself and ourselves, and back at base we got him sorted, and he got going again. Like so, no, we were surprised in the first stage now to see where we were. Like, it just clicked like for me, and we just got to the end of it, and we were quickest. Like, so I was really shocked, to be honest.
And like, as the day then progressed, and like, do you start to feel like a different kind of pressure? Like, do you start, you're leading this rally, it's almost your rally to lose. Does that bring a different dynamic to the way you drive?
Well, kind of now. When we come off the end of the third stage before we come out in the third stage, we just after beating the bogey, which is cheekers, after beating the bogey here, leading the rally, like it says the other two guys, and it was a big task for them to catch us. So it says better just make sure everything goes to plan here, and try keep the push on. And this first stage straight out of service, and I think we went 0.5 quicker than Jordan, and I knew at that stage that, right, this is ours to throw away, sort of thing. Like, so it was. So it was just nail baiting to the end, now, to be honest.
And we often hear drivers saying, the last stage when you're in a position like that, you start hearing every wee knock and bang in the car. Were you starting to hear things that probably weren't even there?
Oh, don't. At the end of the first stage after service, I got to the end of it, and the next thing, I had that feeling in the car. I says, something's not right here. And I stopped on the road section, and I got out and looked, and I had a bolt loose in front of it. So I got out and got it tightened, and like the boys had checked in service, and the bolt was 100% tight, and I just walked itself loose over that 5 or 6 kilometers. Like, so I got it tightened and that was a bit of a scare. So then for the rest of the rally, we were checking the same bolt. Then for every pulled up the start of the stage, the first thing I was lying in underneath it, checking the bolt, making sure it didn't come out again. And, like every battle, what's going to fall asunder, like, but I was quite glad to see the flying finish of the last stage, and it was put a smile on my face. So it did.
I can just imagine. And Ryan, like from your point of view too, like that now, such a great start to the year. I suppose we're now looking forward to Killarney, next event.
Yeah, Killarney. Killarney the next event, and then gonna do a bit of BRC. Then go over to the Jim Clark. The academy's gonna give me a help to go over there. So yeah, really looking forward to getting over there and seeing what the tar and gravel's like over there. I'm thinking about maybe doing a couple of the last rounds of the BRC. So be something different for myself as well to get onto them surfaces.
Yeah, because we've seen there at the weekend Rally Nuts, and how competitive that class is over there as well too. And you're shown here in on tar, on loose, you're the man to beat, and it'd be nice to go and compare yourself to see what else is out there.
Yeah, definitely. Owen Lloyd there was quick on Saturday. And Proudlock and Keelan and Kel McBride and Kean, they were all quick. Like, they were all matching seconds. It's no one ever really runs away with our class, so it's good. Like, it leaves it competitive, and leaves it good to watch as well.
Yeah, and the good thing about this year probably is a lot of those guys haven't really competed in a lot of those events before, so that everybody's kind of gone into the events fairly fresh as well.
Yeah, I think Killarney now is fairly similar to last year. So we didn't do it last year. I done gravel notes last year. So yeah, look, it'll be fine. Just need to put in a bit of effort before the rally. Like every rally, if you don't have the homework done, it'll show on the day.
That's for sure. And Derek, from your point of view too, as much as you've got the one under your belt at the weekend, you would love to be out every weekend competing, but I suppose you have to cut your cloth to what you have, and one of the joys of running an R5 car is that the builds are a bit bigger than what they were in the Nova.
Oh, big time bigger now. You can't go for a scrapyard looking for a part. It's calling that Malcolm, so it is. So yeah, look at it. You'd have to take your rally by rally and go by it. And so we're now not going to be out till August. Now it'll be the next rally we'll be doing. Was a couple of rebuilds and a couple of things on, and that's just kind of the way it's going to be. So it is. So, but it is what it is. We'll knuckle down and keep at it. So.
Yeah, but at least you have the championship to keep you focused and keep that's the prize at the end of it all.
Yeah, that's the big one at the end of it all. See what way it goes. It's gonna be tight out of battle, I think, all year. Jordan and that the games aren't too far away. And the way the points and all go. So we'll see how it goes. We're aiming for the championship at the end of the day and see how far we can get to it.
So, two-wheel drive and Carrick-on-Shire at the weekend. The mighty Lada won again. Shane, you're getting a taste of this old champagne rightly this year.
Yeah, we've had two good runs there, thankfully. Hopefully when the thing stays going, we're unlucky to run in Final Town with mechanical failure, so as I said, we put that bit more power into it. Sometimes you go over the sweet spot, so we're a bit concerned about that, but hey, listen, it was fine at the weekend, so we just need to take one event at a time and one corner at a time, really, and see how it works out.
And Denver, the sweet spot, the Lada, whenever she hits the sweet spot, I don't think there's a nicer car out there now on the loose at the minute.
No, it's definitely cool now. So it is. It's something different. It's unreal on the stages whenever you're actually on the stages. But there's nearly better enjoyment on the road sections when you get through towns and people's trying to figure out what the hell this blue machine is that's coming. And to be fair, it is now. No, it's definitely unique now. And it's now, to be fair, there's some car.
Shane, I was speaking to Ryan MacHugh earlier, and I'm of the vintage a two-wheel drive battle between a Lada and a Fiesta. It just doesn't add up at all, does it?
When you think of that, comparison to that now, that's two different worlds, really, isn't it? The young blood, and then you have an old boy like me and a young boy driving, and then you have he can see where he's going. I can't see where I'm going. He has hair. I have no hair. You know what I mean? So it's the young and the old there, really, isn't it?
But it's great to see something different. We've seen the Escort for so many years, and now we have a Lada, we have a Fiesta, we have the Escort still there. Variety is the spice of life, and I always think it gets a wee bit dull when you just see the same old every time. It is just great to see, a bit of initiative being used.
Yeah, it is. It's nice to see something different. But I remarked a comment on Facebook there, funny enough, over the weekend that somebody put up something about the Lada doing well and finishing 7th overall and all this, and then somebody else responded, "Sure, that's no Lada." But probably right in that. But at the end of the day, the great 6R4 306 was never a Peugeot 306 of Andy Orton's. You know what I mean? So you can't compare that.
Sure, a Mark II Escort's not a Mark II Escort anymore.
Not a Mark II Escort with riggers and practice and stuff. So, that's a bit of a silly speak. There's always somebody, isn't there?
Yeah.
They nearly begrudge what you're doing.
That's for sure, yeah.
I don't give a crap. I built it for my enjoyment, and that's all that mattered to me.
And what enjoyment you're getting out of it. It just seems to be very throwable.
It is. It is a lovely handling car, and honestly, that Samsona suspension is unreal on gravel anyway. I can't say anything about it in tar because we don't do tar, but in gravel it's just magic. It's magic stuff, You know what I mean? There's a whole pile of wee secrets, I suppose, to the final recipe, but the Samsonas is fantastic now. We're very, very impressed with that.
I can remember talking to you at the start, and you were a wee bit, maybe wary is not the right word, but you were just a wee bit, trying this Sansona's in suspension, how you were going to adapt to it, and one thing and another, and were you going to be able to get it right dialed in? Do you feel you're there with it now, or is it still just maybe a wee fine tune yet?
Waste your time asking me that. To me, I'll stand for that. I couldn't answer that question. He's the suspension man, and Sharky's the suspension man. I just drive whatever they touch. Move clicks to and drive that, and it feels the same to me, but it doesn't to Denver and Sharky, so I don't know.
Well, Denver, we often hear about the seat of the pants. Do you feel the difference to the seat of your pants whenever there's these wee changes made?
No, you definitely do. To be fair, Carrick-on-Shire there at the weekend, stage 3 there, and Osian will probably tell you the same. That probably is one of the best 4 stages in the country. And to be fair, there was maybe a 450 yard straight and kicks and bumps on it, and the shift light was on in 6th gear, and it never moved. It was going down the road on an Audi A4. It was unreal, the way the suspension coped with it. And it's one wee click and it's a lot in it, and it's definitely now down to a fine art, and it does hang really well and works really well, and the car grips well, it stops well, it turns in, and the Samsonas now seems to be very, very good now.
Yeah, and as as Shane said, it's not just the suspension; it's all these wee bits, all working in combination. It's the engine, it's the suspension, it's the gearbox, it's the brakes. It takes all those things to make a great rally car.
That definitely does. Oh, it definitely does. Like it's definitely now. It's we're impressive with the kit now. The gearbox, like everything is just, everything works really well. So it does.
And like, it's probably a stupid question, but can you tell the difference if a car is not right, then going down the stage? If you feel it, that like that straight and it starts skipping about, can you almost say this needs like 2 clicks to the back or things like that? There, can you get?
You would have a fair idea, but like whenever I'd be sitting maybe reading the scribbles that I've done there, you've been down the straight and like I can concentrate on what the car's actually doing, where like seeing there just howls on and there's driving it like and just fighting with it. And to be fair, whenever you do like take a wee like step back and you do look at it, and then on the stage you fit it turn around and say, right, that shouldn't have been doing that. Well, maybe try that or try this. Whereas like you can down like in 6th gear and seeing a lot, concentrating there and a lot like, and it's easy there to lie back and watch, right? She shouldn't have done that, or no, she's doing that well, or you can actually determine what it's doing, like.
Yeah, and like Shane, that must be great for you to have a man not just there reading the scribbles as he says himself, that's able to give you that input as well.
Oh, it's fantastic. Hey, to be fair, Denver's very mechanically minded in that lane, and great man to pull us out of a hole if we break something and stuff, too. Listen, I don't know. I can tell you that the car's not right, but I can't tell you how to fix it on suspension. I can tell you that I feel as if that car's too soft here, or the back axle could be bent in, or it's just towing in or towing out. But a suspension's a minefield with me. I really struggle with the suspension. I know it's not right, but I don't know how to fix it. I just can't master how to fix it. I'm too lazy to learn.
But that's the beauty of having a man like Denver beside you. He can listen and take in and listen to what you're saying as well and make the adjustments.
Yeah, and I know we have got hopefully what we think's the sweet point, and leave it alone. I'm not one for chopping and changing, and one stage might be different nature, and you could probably make it better by adjusting at every stage, but not into that. I just get a good ballpark and drive it accordingly now, and leave well enough alone. My attitude.
Yeah, and like we seen yesterday and in the first round of the Forestry as well, the 2-wheel drive. Like there's so many guys there now. You have Hugh McQuaid, you have Mickey Condon, you have all these young guys now in the Rally 4 cars. Like there's probably 10, 12 guys. You have to be watching everybody's time coming in.
Ah, without a question. The young guys is on a real got now, and young MacHugh at the weekend was exceptional. Like that was a standout. The drive of the rally, bar Derek winning it, which I was delighted that Derek got it. But definitely the drive of the rally for me was young MacHugh. Like that was something else now.
Yeah, because you used to give out to Desi Henry about the shopping trolley, You get rid of him, and then you had Derek Mackerel and the Nova, and now you've all these other young guys coming. Like there's such great talent coming through. There's a real swath of talent coming through at the moment.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Desi in the younger days was just one of them boys. You just had to keep picking that and annoying his head. Like he was just good crack, Desi. Go on about the girls' car and stuff with him, but Desi took it in good fun, and he was always good crack about it, But now the young ones, that new generation's coming on, and it's fantastic to see it. Sure, look at that J1000. Christ almighty, like was the 25 started this weekend? Something else, like.
I think Denver.
Fair
really,
play, I think.
Go ahead, sorry.
Am I wrong in saying that was like Ray Fitzpatrick's baby? Really, was it? Was maybe the instigation of that, like, and he's standing back now and looking, I did wonder about it at the start. I thought, gee, letting 14-year-old cubs and girls into the forest, it's a bit of an unknown, that, and was probably concerned about it, but not now. Like, it's just fantastic. It's the experience they're getting. Something else.
Because I always think, if they never, if they turn 18 and never sit in a rally car again, the experience they'll have, to have a handle of how a car will react on the road, never mind anything else, So.
Exactly. Listen, what they've learned from them few years and from experienced competitors, like, there's young MacHugh we were talking about the weekend, and, Arthur Cairns has to be a major factor there too, like, the experience with Arthur too, something else.
Yeah, that's for sure. And like Denver, it has to give Ireland great hope for the future. When we see the 25 J1000s, we see, I don't know, 8 or 10 Rally 4 cars there. and like our guys going over to the BRC, our guys going to the ERC, our guys going to the WRC, and like we can compete anywhere.
Yeah, it's unreal. Like the following that it has here in Ireland is unreal. Like, and I never actually looked really much into it. Like, is there any other countries in the world that does the J1000 class?
No, I think England that used to have it a few years ago, and like it seems to have fallen away. Where it's on the up here, you think it should be everywhere. They should be adopting this, and it should be the up and coming thing. So
that's right. Like you go back to like whenever Kelly Robin Perra was a young lad, like, and him started and him no wage at all, and like look what he achieved there. His last few years, it's unreal. The younger generation coming along, like.
Obviously at the start of it, Shane, it must have been where it all started. He must have seen videos of you and Kelly fighting out in the bushwhacker.
He'd probably seen me and me roof on Final Town.
More like I want to be like him.
Well, there's the floor of a yoke I recognise.
But like you've held on to the starlet, and you said you'll take it out now and again. But like from, you've had the choice now between the Lada and the starlet. Is there a competition there at all, or is it the blue car all the time?
No, it's not. I'm trying to put a season or so in and staying in the one car rather than chopping and changing. Chopping and changing is not always good. You get takes you a stage to get back into the sort of remembering the way you geared, what way it corners, and what gear you took the corners in. Now the starlet still is on a soft spot for it too. Now you know what I mean. The engine in the starlet to me is something else. Like it's just something. You rev that to 9,500 revs, and it's just strong and it's powerful everywhere. Where that Honda now, in fairness, is magic power in it, but sounds pathetic. It just sounds pathetic. I mean? And I like the thing revving his head off, but I'm really getting onto this engine now. I'm starting to like it. I really never thought I would have done. I'm very surprised that I would ever have said that. Learning not to rev an engine and not get the buzz coming out of the end of stage. Now, there's times you come out of the end of stage and you just seem to think you've left a ball of time in it, but you don't seem to have done, which is weird. I'm so used to revving a thing at 9,500 revs, you're wringing the neck of it in every single gear to get the best out of it. You're just not away up in that area anymore.
Denver, he mustn't be watching the videos at all, because that Lada does not. That sounds fantastic. Yes, it's maybe not the hard hitting revving of like the way the starlet was, but it still sounds pretty good.
Aye, that was the old engine. Sounds good. The new one doesn't sound as good.
To be fair, like in it there now, the 2.4 in it now, like as Ian says, it is very, very deceiving. Like with the starlet, with it revving 9.5, it feels kamikaze, and the Lada, like you come to the end of the stage and you'd be thinking yourself, jeepers, we're badly down there or with a bad run. And to be fair, it never doesn't be too bad, like, but it's very, very deceiving compared to the starlet, like.
Yeah. It's just a different sensation. Like it's like I think it's like it's like everyone else. You hear, you see, and probably part of your whole senses is the audio as well too. And you weren't getting the same song coming through the headphones.
That's right. No, like even like in to be fair, it's wild to see. You go off the start line, like, and you're getting to places a whole lot quicker, but it doesn't feel just as kamikaze because the noise just isn't there. So but no, like if it's the older engine now, it felt a bit kamikaze at the odd time, so it did, but it's a bit more cooler and jam now.
Shane, he's going to destroy your reputation for being a steady Eddie.
I almost
is that?
I keep saying that, I know. I can't believe it.
No, very few do.
I'm not. Frank would let the psycho out of the box. He talks about I haven't found this psycho yet, really. Probably let him out of the box every day at work though.
You can't wait for the rallies.
I don't think I've found the psycho yet. I'm just listen. I don't know. I'm probably too old, but I never was willing to put everything on the line, for it, and I still wouldn't, and I don't believe I ever did. I know there's odd time you take a push on a stage, but I still wouldn't be crossing what I feel comfortable at doing. I wouldn't decide right there's corner I have to try and pull a gear up through that this time. I wouldn't be prepared to take the risk on that. I don't know whether it's just old or boring, but I just don't be prepared. Yes, things can go wrong, and we have at Pryce several times, but it doesn't knock me back that much because I don't feel as if I've done that well much wrong.
Yes.
I might have got the mistake or the wrong line over a corner or something, but I don't feel as if a stupid prick let the cycle out of the box there, and what was I thinking like?
You pushed beyond what you were fit for, more or less.
Yeah, exactly. I don't generally try to push beyond. I know I'm only fit for 70 or 80%, and I'm not prepared to go to 100. And it's just that's the way it is, fine. And if it comes out in a stage and it's not good enough, that's fine also. Yes, it's a bit annoying to lose a chunk of time, but I try to strive at a speed I'm comfortable with, and Denver, you have to think of the guy beside you or the girl beside you. I'm not prepared to put it all on the line.
No, because at the end of the day, you still have to, it's not going to make a huge difference. You may lose 10 seconds, but in the greater scheme of things, does it matter?
No. Well, to be honest, that's the reason why I think I don't like tarmac. I just feel for me to be competitive in tarmac, I would have to put everything on the line to be within the top 10 two-wheel drive cars, never mind any follow-up. And I just don't feel comfortable at that, and I don't like that, putting a neck out on the line like that.
Yeah.
But that's no disrespect to anyone that's doing that. They're obviously feel comfortable at their speed. I just don't feel comfortable doing that. And I don't feel comfortable at the speed you need to be going on the tar to do that.
That's for sure. And Denver, from your point of view, the Irish Forestry, it suits you. You're not missing a lot of time off work. You can, you go down Saturday, do the event, back up the road Sunday, and back to work then Monday. Yeah, it's deadly. You head off there Saturday morning, you go through the DVD, nothing nice before the event. You go down to scrutiny and settle, have a bit of crack with the lads, and go out on the Sunday, and it's just kind of you wrap up at the start of the stage and have the crack with everybody, minute intervals, and it is really, really well run. And then you have a good interval of time to get to the next stage, and there's no rushing. You get up, you get your time, you get locked in, and out again, have the crack. Whereas tarmac's more of rush the whole time. Whereas forestry now is just a totally different way of rallying. It is very, very good. It definitely is very, very, very good. Yeah. And then, because there's such a break now until the next event in the Irish Forestry, it's August, I think, it's for the next round. Can you see yourselves maybe going across the water and looking at events, or any thoughts really between now and then? Yeah, that's what we're actually talking about there on Sunday there. We're talking maybe going over maybe for a few of them BTRDA rounds. But I don't think the next round of the Forestry is to Cork, which is the 2nd or 3rd week in August. Right. So, look, it is possible to go over there and try over there, see what it's like. And Denver, you yourself last year, you took on this mad notion of driving wee 35 all the way from Mizzen to Malin. Have you any adventures planned this year? Yeah, look, this is what happens whenever you be sitting thinking and what it is here. But yeah, look, with a few wee things on the pipeline here at the minute, so we have, and a bit of planning and stuff around it. But no, look, it should be cool. It should be a bit different. But as I say, we're still only in the planning process of it at the minute. So it'll be good. And was last year, did that give you a real buzz like that? We were following it all online and seeing all the different towns you were going through and the way you were being received everywhere you went. That must have been a really cool thing to do. It was that. To be fair, it was pretty cool. And to be fair, it kind of gave me someone to push towards to try and get myself back in the PD. And you kind of that wee bit of determination give you the whole time. And my aim was to go back to the bushwhacker, and that was my whole focus, was the bushwhacker, and then do the run after it. And then when I come to the bushwhacker, I just wasn't 100%. And so it was the 5th of October, and I said, this is whenever this has to be done. And it gave me a goal to get ready, to go. And look, we done the run, it was grand, 32 hours we done it in, and the amount of crack we had, and along the way, and everything was great, and the sport was unreal, It was unreal. Yeah. I think Shane, this man, he puts himself down, he just reads the scribbles out of a book, but, there's a lot going on there, he puts a lot of effort into his rallying, he puts a lot of effort into his life, and, such a great man for raising money for charity and one thing and another as well.
She's something else in that line, Julie Mackerel. Many people can dedicate so much time to that, it's hard to get the time and the effort to do all that, but in fairness, he does need to address these scribbles now. Did you ever see a page of his notes?
Did he tell himself up about money? But you come to the odd corner and you have to actually think what you've actually wrote here. It could be, or it may be.
It could be, or it may be, is right.
No, in fairness, it's never a could be or maybe. It's always the right note. But how we can see what he has read is a miracle. You see these guys' notes and highlighted everywhere. That you just see Denver's with pencil marks scribbled out and writ over the top of other things. God, how he's going to make head or tail of that? It's always right.
And Shane, we were talking there about charitable events and one thing. You're taking the Lada to Tar, but not rallying, but competing in Deja Vu now in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, we took an Osian to go into Deja Vu back maybe before Christmas. I seen that advertised and I thought, you know what? Well, Ronnie's always had a wild interest. Ronnie Coulter, my serviceman, he's always had a wild interest in it. He would have watched a few of them, and he loved them. And always thought, you know what? Should take Ronnie in one of them. And then we originally were meant to do one in Galway, I think, at the tail end of COVID, maybe. And then
Westport, yeah,
Westport was it? Yes, in the G3, and then it ended up at Clyst with Rally or something, and we didn't bother about it. So then, when I seen them raising money for the McGuire's, Dara, and Jean, I definitely said I'm going to that because Dara sat with me years ago in a rally or so, and it's a bit personal to me too, So
of course.
I just said no. If we're ever going to do a Deja Vu, this is the one we're going to do. So.
Yeah. It's for a great cause, and it's a great day out as well too, because you revisit old stages. You get to meet a few of the old timers. There's a bit of banter, there's a bit of crack with it as well.
Bit of crack, and and they're going, I think, to Donna's museum, which I've always been popping to get anyway. And we've never been lucky enough, I suppose, to get there. So it's just my way of warming into Donna's museum too.
See if there's any Lada memorabilia had in there anywhere.
We might get him talked into a Lada yet, There's everything else.
Aye, Eamon's got a great fascination for Lada, so work on Eoin, I think that's your way to go.
Yeah, all right. Keep on, Eoin.
Right, well, man, thank you very much for taking the time to join us. It's been an absolute pleasure. And Denver, we'll catch up with you whenever those plans are announced.
No problem at all, Kevin. Thank you very much.
Pleasure there as always chatting to those guys. So this weekend coming up, we have this round 4 now of the WRC Rally Croatia, and as well as that then the third round now of the National Championship, the Burr Rally as well too. So another busy weekend. But Connor, Rally Croatia this weekend, where do we start? There's going to be a lot going on there too.
Huge amount going on. Well, we've the continuation of the battle between Neville and Evans for who's going to lead the championship. You've one Mr. Oit Tanak who needs a solid result if he has to have any hope of mounting a championship challenge this weekend. So he really needs a win if anybody does. And you have Adrian Formeau on a fantastic run. Is he looking at another podium here? Is he looking at, potential win? Who knows? But he's certainly on form.
That's for sure. Yeah, it's brilliant to see. And then, it's round of the juniors. So, we have Eamon out there, Eamon and Connor out. And then also then WRC too. We have our man of the season so far, Walden Liam.
Yeah, fantastic. Will's been getting a great bit of seat time now in the Irish Tarmac Championship and also the BRC. So that can only be, but a huge benefit and a bit of a confidence boost from getting into Croatia. And then, as you say, this is Eamon and Connor's second year at the junior. Winners there last year in Croatia of the junior round. So, I suppose there's a bit of expectation on them to do well again, knowing the event and having done so well in the event last year.
Yeah, because they had a solid run in round 1 there in Sweden, so they come away with third. Hopefully they can build on that, but it's such a strong lineup in the JWRC this year, really, isn't it?
It is. It's huge. There's 19 entries in the JWRC. It's the strongest it feels ever had, and some real, young stars in amongst that group as well that have come out of pretty much nowhere. They've come from the Rally Star program or they've just recently come through the conventional rally route, but with very little experience under the belt, but high performers.
That's for sure. And then Burr Rally on round 3 of the National Championship. It only seems like a blink of the eye since we finished Monaghan and we're already into the next round. And with Sam, Josh, all the runners and riders there again, and it's going to be another epic event there too. Just looking at the wee clips that's up there for the for the guys that selling the DVDs and all, they look fantastic stages. It looks a really good compact route and all that. So I think that's going to be a brilliant rally there on Sunday now. And fingers crossed, it looks as if the Waller's going to be half decent as well too. So Yeah, I got a chance to catch up with Owen Longworth from the event just to give us a few details of the rally. Owen, we're a few days away now from the third round of the National Championship, the Burr Rally, and you are the COC. But once again, this National Championship is going from strength to strength. You have a fantastic entry there. Really looking forward to Sunday now at this stage.
Yeah, Kevin, it's been 5 months of work getting it together. We're delighted with the entry we received. We received in excess of 190 entries. And there's still actually entries coming in. We had an entry come in today from another competitor. So we hope to try and get the magic at 165 cars to start on Sunday morning. It's been great putting it together. Great with the response of the entries. It's really made it all worthwhile. We have 3 fabulous stages that we're going to enjoy. We have the first one short, a little short, sprinty type of stage to wake you up. Then they hit stage 2, the legendary Glendine Mountain up here. It's our answer to the Col de Torini and Healy Pass, etc. And Knockalla, by the way, Kevin, just let you know as well.
Just keep it on the go, people up there.
Keep your toes up there, and we've a lovely, that's a fabulous stage, just over 16 Ks. You go through that, and that'll be a good driving test. There's loads of hairpins, good surface, very hard stage if you're making pace notes on, because there's no landmarks, because there's no, all it was.
It's a road, it's road 2 there, yeah.
It's just a road through a forest, and there's no landmarks. You just literally go, it's obviously a hard road, but there's features. So the navigating on that will be very good. A good navigator, good set of notes, will actually pull up time on it if he's, you know, if he's going to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Stage 3, then you come off Glendine, you think you've just had a nice, then you have a very short road section, 2 Ks, and into stage 3. And that's a stage that's called Muljoy's Hill. And that's an old classic sort of Ireland stage from the back in the days, the 60s and the 70s. And that's 12.2 kilometres. Again, first 4 to 5 kilometres, nice and open, nice and fast and flowing. And then it changes into twisty and tight, mossy, greasy. It's a good sting in the tail.
Yeah.
And then you have a 20 kilo loop and back to service, and we're back to Brennan's for the service area. And you'll definitely enjoy your cup of tea when you get back to Brennan's.
Yeah. And you said there, it's only 10 kilometres out to the first stage. First stage rolls onto the second stage, rolls onto the third stage, and then just 20 kilometres back into the service area. Like a lovely compact route, no big major road mileage. It's a competitor's dream, really, that.
It is. It's a lovely, but the road network we're using, but above all, the stages are going to enjoy. There's driving in everybody. There's something in it for everybody. That's the best way of putting it here, Kevin. There's something in it for everybody, regardless of whether you're top of the range or you're a low budget car, you're in a Honda Civic, you're in an R5, you're in a 2.4 Escort. There's something there for everybody.
Yeah. And we spoke to some of the guys after Monaghan, and that's what they were saying. You could see the event that was run by competitors, the way the whole thing was set up, and it was so competitor friendly. And I'm getting the same vibe from this as well too. This is going to be run with competitors in mind.
Well, competitors in mind, one thing, but we do also have a very secret little trick here in Burr that not other clubs have. We've the word hospitality. And if you ask any of the competitors who were here 2 years ago, and in the very spot I'm in now is a canteen here in Garrahy's, which is the HQ. I'm actually all my club members outside when they're looking in at me, giving me gestures. But this is where the home of the whole event is. At the back of our event, we have best stage, but this is the back of the event. This is our hospitality. This is our unique feature with this rally. And that is the hospitality that we get here from Kieran and Edna, all the Garrahy family, their kids, Hannah, Jane, Dervla. They all come in here to put on food here on Saturday, and Friday night is the same. We're here setting up Friday night to be food here going. The Saturday afternoon, as I told you before, I think Desi Heenan last year put food under the table. Had no idea getting out under the table. He was having a lovely breakfast here on Sunday, Saturday morning, and we have a lovely. We're I suppose competitor friendly, yes, but also we like to bring the word hospitality, old-fashioned hospitality. Yeah. And that's what it's all about.
Because that's lovely, because rallying is a family, and to bring the family vibe to the event as well too. We keep hearing about the rally family, and to see that extend, outside the stages right through into the service area, and to the rally sign on, the rally office. everything, and it's all there too. It's all within a stone's throw of each
Yeah.
other. You have your park for me,
Well,
your service area.
Yeah, we're very fortunate here that we the Garrahy's, Kieran Netner, such fabulous hosts here, and they will say they allow us to use the literally they close the garage here. It's a truck garage, it's one of those BTN network test centres. They close the operation here 1 o'clock on Friday, and they let us literally run them up, convert the whole place into like we have outside the window here is the scrutiny bay. Rally office is actually outside me here, down on the floor in the first bay. The next bay over is the scrutineering bay, and you go out the far door. In the par for me. And what more do you want? And then we have a local business here up to Brennan Engineering. They're a high profile Irish company. They're letting us use their facility for trailer park. So it's a one-stop shop. And then in addition to Kieran and Etna with their leaving us the menu here, Kieran and Etna are also one of our main sponsors at the event as well. That's through his garage. And then Mike, a well-known forestry competitor, and then Mike Garrahy, a well-known forestry competitor, he's also Kieran's brother. He has his tractor garage just up the road from here. That's going to be used for offloading as well. And that's actually at the lads, that's their home house. Jeez. And Mother Garrahy, the lady of the house, Mary, she's the matriarch, she's still cycles every day happily in Burr, and she lives in a lovely detached cottage, which is right beside the offloading area. So it's very picturesque.
Yes.
And then obviously the third party sponsorship team this year is TJ Garrahy. That's Tom Garrahy up in the lad's brother who's up in Wicklow, does steel fabrications. So as you said, we have a family. It's a family team this weekend.
Yeah, and then the service area as another really top class facility there as well. You mentioned to me earlier about the proprietor there going over and beyond what was required.
Absolutely, John Brennan and the family in Rat. John came to the launch here 4 days ago, and he was so overawed by the crowd that was here, and he was overawed by the whole friendliness of the club. And he said, "Wow." I called over last Saturday to see the operation, and Ronan Shannon, who's our surgery manager, Ronan actually works for John Brennan. He's a truck driver, so he's pretty well known in the Northwest with know a lot of lads. He does a lot of crops up there with his meal, and in Northern Ireland too, by the way. And I called over last Saturday, and there was 6 loads of gravel. I says, "What's the gravel for?" "Oh no, that's just spread here on Monday." So they've created an absolutely Rolls Royce of a service area. I was really taken back by that fact to see this, the people going out of there, to give the competitor what they want, a nice, clean service area.
Yeah, and that is testament to not only the motor club and the work you're putting in, but the people you have associated with you, that people are prepared to go the extra mile to make sure this runs smoothly.
Yes, well, I mean, it's very important. We have a lot of, we'd say, the Brennan family have often supported work up down through the years. Likewise with the Garrahy's here. And the same with Stephen Grant of Grant Engineering. They have people that have always been, whenever we run events around Burr, down through the years, be it autocrosses, back in the days, the hill climb weekends used to have back in the 70s. These are people that are always there to give us a little support, maybe facilities, yards, sponsorship, whatever. There's always a good support network here.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing that we always we like to keep saying about in this podcast is what rallying can bring to a local community. It fills hotel beds, it gets the restaurants filled up and cafes and petrol stations and all that. You just have to take a wee bit of a novel approach now for accommodation for competitors, for marshals and all that as well.
Yeah, that was the thing that started off here 2 years ago when I got stuck for a crew came over from the UK and we had no accommodation. And I asked one of our club members, she's a legendary lady behind it all, Una O'Brien. She's actually originally from County Fermanagh, lads, actually. Mm-hmm. And Una married Kieran, her husband. He's a butcher. He's actually just retired from the butchery business here in Burr. And we were stuck for beds. And Una says, I said, Una, do you know any friends? She says, hang on, I know one person. And that one person turned into several houses. And then, so Una and Noel Horner, club secretary, and Noel have spent the last couple of weeks ringing all the various accommodation providers. So we've everybody fairly well accommodated within a 5 mile radius off the house here.
Mm-hmm. And that again, go back to the whole thing about family. There you are again, yeah. Rally family pulls together and everybody, not see anybody left behind.
That's all a very funny case with our club. We run every year, apart from our motor club here in Burr, we run a treasure hunt. It's a Tom O'Reilly Memorial Car treasure hunt every year, and it's a very funny story. And we have had, every year that event gets on average 90 cars. And as part of Burr International Burr Vintage Week. And it's Monday night, Burr Vintage Week is the Moore Club treasure hunt. So last year, this lady rang me 2 years ago to offer her house. And she says, I actually given this number to ring. And I rang this lady and she says, hello. I said, this is Owen from Moore Club. She says, yes, I know you. I says, don't know you. Who are you? Hmm? She says, you cause a lot of grief in this house every year. I went, where do you live? So I told her where you live. I live 30 miles away. But she then said to me that, says, you run the treasure hunt every year. I said, that's right. She said, me and my husband do that treasure hunt. And because of you, we row for a week after the event. But there's an event that we run in our club that you would never think could link in with the rally.
Yeah.
That's how people knew the Motor Club from, was the car treasure hunt.
Yeah, it just the ripples out kind of thing. Yep.
Yeah, little ripples, yeah. So that's a bit of a funny story. So.
Yeah. Well, Owen, I can only but wish you the very best of luck. You know, a fantastic event on the weekend, top class entry, and just fingers crossed that the Wellers holds out for it. You know, the long term forecast at the moment is looking favourable.
Yeah, just to mention a few other small little bits and pieces.
Yeah, sure.
Well, first of all, we're very fortunate. We have 4 fantastic stage sponsors. I just give them a plug as well because they've been part of this as well, and that's Owen Kelly Tires in Kilcormac, Doolan's Pet Service Station in Kilcormac, Solus, which is Paul O'Brien, Paul's a well-known competitor in the R5 Fiesta, and the RE Roscrea Electrical in Roscrea, that's Owen Fogarty's motor factors, and they're entering stage 3. And our service area has been sponsored by Transpec and Midland Tire Services in Raftery. So we have to thank all those people. They're all good patrons of our club for the last number of years. So
excellent. Well, Owen, it's an absolute pleasure catching up with you.
You finally caught me, Kevin. You finally caught me.
So yeah, really looking forward to Burr now at the weekend. So that's the end of season 3, episode 21. Please, as I said at the start, like, share, rate. If you could subscribe or even leave a wee comment, all those things make a huge difference. So that's it, and we'll be keeping an eye on the times over with between Croatia and Burr and all the weekend. With lots to be keeping us busy. So until next time, take care, speak soon, and bye.